Welcome to the Weekly Five for the week of March 21st, 2016. We just had the anniversary of the New London explosion. If you're not aware of that, is back in 1937 in the little town of New London, which is not too far from Tyler, is that the school had a very slow gas leak. It began to kind of go throughout the school, and when a teacher, what they believe happened anyway, turned on a grinder, created a spark, and absolutely just decimated, blew apart the school there in New London. New London also, by the way, now is called West Rusk ISD if you want to look up anything when it comes to this. So it did. It ended up killing an entire generation of children. And this was taking place, by the way. This is why they started making gas smell, have that sulfuric smell or that rotten egg smell, so that you can tell right away if there's some kind of a problem there with a gas leak. But at the time, that wasn't the case. So it was a colorless, odorless gas that went through there and just turned the building into a bomb and killed a number of kids. And so you see a lot of little tombstones there that showed the March 18th, 1937 date as the date in which, a generation died. I bring that to your cases because there's nothing more important to a parent than their kid. And losing a kid has to be one of the most emotionally traumatizing situations for any parent. And I say that because when it comes to parents, is that we have to have them involved with the school to do well. And if we recognize that even when the parents are having a difficult time, that their kid is the most important thing to them, then I think it helps our approach as we move forward. And I'm going to tell you about how to make that better overall, and I have a story to go with that. Had a dad back when I was superintendent who would oftentimes come in, try to intimidate teachers, throw fits, that kind of thing. And I was very protective of my teachers, so I brought him into my office one day, and we had a bunch of yelling back and forth. It was an ugly situation. But ultimately, I told him he could not come on campus unless I was there to escort him around and have him, be able to monitor him to make sure that he wasn't trying to intimidate the teachers that he ran into. And so this went on for years, and so after 3 or 4 years, almost annually, we would have some big fight. And I remember one night, I was sitting at home about 9:30 at night, and I look over at caller ID when the phone rings, and it's his name that comes across. And I'm looking over at my wife and saying, you know what, I'm not answering that. But she, being the smarter of the two of us, ends up coming out and saying, if you don't, you're going to regret going to work in the morning because you're going to have to deal with it. So I call him back, and he tells me, listen, I received this letter, and I don't understand. And so I said, well, you have to give me a little more context. And he goes, well, it says something about the Wildcat Award. I said, oh, okay. I said, well, listen, let me tell you something. Your daughter's been recognized by our teachers as doing a great job in the classroom. She won this award because of her academic achievement, and I want to tell you how much I appreciate the work that your daughter's doing and how much I appreciate your support. And he kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit there and says, oh, okay, all right, thank you. Hung up the phone. Next day he came through there and he wanted to talk to the principal, and so I brought him down to the principal and so that they could meet. And after he left, I went and talked to the principal, and I said, hey, how did the meeting go? And she goes, unbelievable. She goes, I think he may be on medication. I've never seen him so nice. I think the point here is very simple. No matter how he acted, there was nothing more important to him than his child. And so being able to see that creating that connection and that recognition that went on there made the entire relationship better. And so one of the easiest ways as teachers and administrators we can have an impact with parents is build that relationship early on. Every kid, you can sincerely say something positive about that kid. And so you need to take the opportunity when you can and go ahead and start building that relationship. Send notes home when the kids are doing things well. Talk to them so that they are going to be there for you if you need them when there's a potential issue. And because no matter how they act anywhere down the line, every parent wants their kid to do well. And every parent wants their kid to achieve at the highest levels they possibly can. And we know that, and we need to build that relationship that we can take advantage of that later on.